Hey guys, it's January 27th, 2013. I quickly wanted to give a quick book recommendation for you. The book I just read was Government Bullies by Senator Rand Paul. It's a great book that focuses on primarily four different issues. Looks at the EPA, the FDA, the Lacey Act, and the TSA. So what it does is it shows, for example, the FDA prosecutes people who have raw milk and transport it across state lines. Pretty interesting. In one of the cases he shows was how an FDA agent actually joins an online group of raw milk drinkers and poses as a person who's poses as a customer in the intent to entrap the raw milk farmer, and that way they can prosecute him. They can say, "Oh yeah, look, they took the raw milk from Pennsylvania to Maryland, and we have the actual proof because we were part of the scam." And so it's basically entrapment. So that's one of the things that they showed there. That's enough about the FDA. There's a couple of cases they show on that. Also, another area they should talk about was the Lacey Act. The Lacey Act goes back about 100 years, and it talks about, well, first off, the Lacey Act is an act that makes the U.S. government enforce laws of other countries, which is kind of ridiculous in itself. Gibson Guitar, which is probably like the biggest guitar manufacturer in the U.S., they were actually raided by, I think it's like the Commerce Department or the FBI, one of those. And the whole reason was because they purchased some type of exotic wood. I think it's from Bangladesh or it's like some other Asian country. And this type of wood that they use is actually it's like endangered or on decline in that country. And so we're supposed to enforce their laws here. And so it goes to the case of Gibson Guitar, which they kept trying to force the issue. They wanted to get in court in front of a judge to get this case, talked about, to get the whole thing resolved. They couldn't even get in a courtroom to get the whole issue talked about. For some reason, they kept holding it up, and so on and so on. And so, I don't exactly remember what the resolution of the case was, but it's just so ridiculous. And something else they talk about was how, the TSA. So it gives Senator Rand Paul himself. He was groped by TSA agents. Like he went through the metal detector. He was coming from, I think it was like Nashville, and it set it off. So he said, "Oh, let me go through one more time through the metal detector part." Well, they said, "Oh no, you need to come over here." And so they groped him. And so it also talks about too how because children and one child in Afghanistan became a suicide bomber. Now all the kids in the U.S., like 4 or 5 year old, like little babies, little children, and including babies, they need to be searched. They need to be groped and all this. And so this is the TSA. This is what they do. And in one of the cases that one of the people that Senator Rand Paul interviewed, they said that when they were being groped by one of the agents, that a couple of agents were off to the side laughing at the whole situation. So it's pretty ridiculous there. They also talk about the EPA and how that they have, you buy a piece of land here, and then 2 years later, the EPA changes their map of designated areas of wetland, and now the land that you own is now included in that area, and so you can't do what you want with your property. And so that's kind of ridiculous. And so it goes through and it shows how some guy, like he wanted to move some land on his property from one area to another. He wasn't able to do that because of this EPA designation. Another guy, his land was like 20 miles from a river, stream, an ocean, a lake, all this. And so they said, like, the EPA said that what he was doing was violating the Clean Water Act. And he said, oh, there's no water anywhere near where I live. And so the whole thing was like, they said, oh, well, it could potentially be a wetland. And so you can't do what you're doing on your land because it could be a wetland. I mean, this is just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, we think that we have all these rights and liberties in the U.S., but we can't do anything. So, I mean, it's a great book. Once again, the book's Government Bullies by Senator Rand Paul. I'll put a few links below, different things with the book and the his Senate website. If you have any experiences like what goes on in the book, like what I've mentioned, go ahead and send him an email. Maybe he'll put out a new edition of the book later on, an expanded version. This book ends at like 260 pages. I think it could easily be like 500 pages. But, yeah, thanks for watching. If there's any books that you want me to read and review, send them on over. I'm pretty open-minded. So I'd like to take a look at some books that you recommend. Anyways, have a great day. See you guys later.